CPS is in your driveway. No, it's D-Day, the day they're bringing them. The person you're going to deal with today is probably the investigator. Later, you'll be assigned a case manager. Today's the investigator. This person probably won't give you details on why the children have been removed. They might. It's up to them. But they will have paperwork that they'll go through with you and they'll have you sign. You'll want to make sure you get a copy of that. It's the placement paperwork, and it is evidence that you have a legal placement of these children. If something happens tonight and there's an emergency, you'll want to have that. Sometimes the employee of DCS or CPS says, I'll email you a copy later when I get to the office. Well, then just ask if you can take a picture with your phone so that at least you have that. In fact, it's good to have a copy on your phone anyways. Another thing that's a good idea for you to get tonight is the medical card. You probably won't get the medical card. The investigator probably doesn't have a copy of it yet. Ask if you can get a medical card number. So what happens tonight if there's an emergency and you need to take the child to urgent care or the emergency room, and who will pay for it? If you have a medical number, then that'd cover it. If not, just ask her what you do. And just as a side note, any case that there is an emergency, you'll want to contact the case manager, and the event tonight would be the investigator, as soon as you can to let them know what happened so that they can make a report, maybe come down to the emergency room. So you'll want the medical number or a medical card if you can get it, and you'll want a copy at least of that placement document. And those are the things you really need before that person leaves. Now, you would expect that when you get a placement that you would get some clothes and some equipment. You know, if it's a child and you need a car seat, you get a car seat, maybe a pack and play. Typically, I have not seen that happen. You know, this is an emergency. That investigator is just basically safe place to stabilize things today, and then they'll get things worked out later. So you'll want to make a list on the things you need: car seat, clothing, pack and play or a crib, those kind of things. And slowly you'll start accumulating that. Tonight, food, maybe a pallet on the floor. If that's all you have, that'll be good enough. But keep in mind, you cannot drive a child without a car seat, depending on the laws and the age of that child, you cannot legally drive without a car seat. So that might be top priority. Sometimes those investigators can give you a gift card, and then you can use that gift card to get some of the things you need. You can ask her that. Some of the uncomfortable questions that is a good thing to bring up now. One, in your state, do they offer a stipend for kinship care? In Arizona, they do. It's almost $600. And again, it's not paying you to take care of that child. It's for that child so that it can offset the impact financially that child's going to cause. You know, school lunches, clothing, summer camps, other things in that. Also, will you be eligible for respite? Now, the investigator might not have the time to answer that kind of question, but that's something you'll want to jot down and ask your case manager if you don't get the answer tonight. Respite. That is basically babysitting, but not really babysitting. It's more of a break, and it's provided by licensed people that have taken classes, have had a background check and all of that. The next question that you'll want to ask, and this is important, and again, your investigator can probably give you generalities, and later you'll get more specifics. But typically, mom gets visits to the child, dad gets visits to the child. If those parents are together, those visits can be together. If those parents are separated, dad, and he's in the picture, might get 2 to 4 hours a week to begin with. Mom might get 2 to 4 hours a week to begin with. And that is a lot of visits and time, especially if the child's also in school. You'll want to find out at some point who's going to transport the children to those visits, and who's going to, usually they're supervised to begin with, who's going to supervise those visits. And tip, I'm going to suggest to you, just take it for what it cost you. I'm going to suggest to you that you make it clear that you're not going to transport. You're not in a position to transport, and you're not in a position to supervise those visits. And I would want that documented right now with the investigator. They are bringing up those questions and letting her know that, let's say it's your daughter. You don't want to be in a position of having to tell on your daughter for inappropriate actions at a visit. And also, they don't necessarily believe kinship as well. I mean, they should, but it's been my experience that they don't necessarily believe kinship as well as they do a licensed supervisor. Now, when you supervise a visit, it's not documented. It just is. It happens. It doesn't happen. But if it's a supervised company that's supervising it, they actually schedule it. It's a no-show. Oh, it showed up and the visit went very well. They showed up, the visit didn't go well. It all gets documented, and in a report, it goes to the judge. How would you feel if it's a no-show and then your daughter's begging, oh, please, my car broke down. It's your fault. I didn't have gas money, whatever the reason. And now you're in this awkward position. Also, I think you want to be a safe place for those children. They leave, they go do their visits, they come back to a nice, stable, calm, drama-free place. That's your path. Seek the joy, find the good. At the end of the day, I hope you know you're loved and that you're appreciated, because I know this is hard.